Hey everyone, it's Stanford again. We're going to go ahead and draw another shaded object. Last time we did the cone, we're going to do just a cylinder. Same type of value scale. We'll attach all the types of lights to it. We'll start by drawing our value scale again. Just a nice long rectangle. And separate that into 4 sections. Abbreviate that HDRSA for the types of light, 0 through 4 for the number of layers of values. Start in the number 2, the reflected light area, and you are again shading with spherical motions and put 2 layers in that area, or a medium value. Again, the numbers are suggestions for layers. If you need to do more to get the value that you want, then do a little more. I'm just going to maybe do 1 more layer just to get a nice medium value to that. A little darker than the last one we did. All right, there's a mid value. I'm going to smudge into my direct light, number 1 area. Okay, and now I'm going to add another layer here, or start with 3 in the shadow box, and then add more from there. Keep going until it's darker than the previous. I'll go maybe 1 more layer, and we'll get that last one really dark. Another layer on there. That's probably about as dark as I can get that with my pencil. Okay, and I got a good range from light to dark. A little better than the last one that we did. You can see the range is not quite as contrasting, so this has deeper or higher contrast than that. Should look better. All right, we're just going to do a simple object on this one. It's the cylinder. It's the easiest one. So you're going to start with 2 parallel lines. You're making a can, basically. And we're going to be looking down on it. So you need a sphere here. 2 curved lines, basically, that attach, make a sphere. And then a curved line at the bottom to round off the bottom since we're looking down at it. Remember when you're sketching to keep your pencil loose and light in your hand. We just want sketch lines so we can erase, and no permanent lines yet. Let's put a table line behind it. We need a light source. And now we need a shadow. So basically our light source is here, object's here, so our shadow is going to be coming over here. You want to find those 2 corners of that object and draw them away from your light source. So it could be here, and the other one could be this direction. It might be a little different if we were looking at this thing in person, but we're just trying to figure out how to create form. So we'll end that shadow somewhere down here. And the same rules apply as we did our cone. We have our light side over here, our dark side will be over here, so we need to split that in half. All right, this will be our dark side. So we can put 2 layers right here. This is a vertical object, so we want to shade up and down. spherical motions. And we'll try to match that value scale as much as possible. So I'm going to have to probably put a couple more layers than what I suggested. Now after you get pretty skilled at doing layers, you can just start doing pressure. All right, does that look like about a match? I would say so. Next thing you're going to want to do is smudge. You can smudge that entire object, smooth out your scribbles, and create that direct light. I won't worry too much about the ground shadow because I don't know if I have enough graphite on my finger to smudge all that, but all right, we got a little bit anyway. Okay, next up is the shadow. Here's our light source. Since it's a rounded object, the light's gonna travel around it a little bit, so I'll put a couple guidelines or just start shading basically a stripe down the center of that. And then you won't have to worry about erasing guidelines. Now you can smudge this again and blend up those edges a little bit, or you can just kind of feather in your edges with your pencil, like so, get it to blend into the other part of the shadow so it kind of changes gradually from one to the next. But I think it's probably okay if there's a bit of an edge on this. It might be a shiny object, there'd be a little bit more edge. And I think we're matching that pretty well. Okay. Darkest part will be at the base of the shadow. So really go and darken up that. And you want to kind of curve it first, and then you can flatten it out as you come away from it. Also try to blend dark to light as you come away. Use less pressure, or you can do layers, however it works for you. All right, I got a little bit of transition of dark to light. I want to go a little more and a little darker on that edge. I want that to be the most contrasting area of my shadow, darkest part, and have it gradually turn to light. Try not to have any edges in your shadow. It should blend smoothly from one to the other. Okay, that's looking pretty decent. I might come back and add a little bit more. Let's smooth it out right now. Okay, the cylinder is a little bit easier. Since I have a kind of a stripe here, I just want to take my highlight and do the same thing on the other side for the highlight. Just erase down. Then you kind of have to just use your imagination for what the top of that object looks like. So the highlight can look something like that, coming down that side. Trying to make it even for the most part. Okay, and I lost some of my line that I need to bring back right here. I want to darken that up a little bit. And then I'll erase a little bit. I'm thinking the light is shining down here, but maybe the edge of it is catching the shadow, so this part might be a little more shaded. And the highlight might be over here, so you just want to erase a little spot on the top there. And then maybe there's a bit more shading on this side. So it might look a little different if we set this up in real life, but with this value scale, you can just apply that and use your imagination. So I'll just get a little shadow in there and then smudge it a bit. You can erase and smudge it back together. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I do want to make this line either more crisp or make it go away, so I'm going to kind of touch that up. Now I'll just erase all my smudges that I don't want. Any outlines that are standing out too much. Remember, craftsmanship is key. You might not be a good artist yet, but if you present your artwork in a clean manner, it's going to look good. All right. I'll get a little bit more of this edge gone. Okay, I got a pretty decent object here. Might round it off a touch more on the top. All right, now we can just label this thing. Well, let me touch it up a bit more. A little bit of more shadow here for chiaroscuro and contrast. And down in here, looks a little different in person than it does on my video, so I want to get a little darker here for you guys and bring that out. Okay, there's the cylinder. Let's go ahead and label it. First, we have our highlight. Then we have our direct light. Light shining right on the object, even though it's a shadow. Still a type of light. And that would be here and here. We have our reflected light, the light that travels around. It's still a shadow, but it travels around the object onto the darker side. And that would be in these two areas. And you could blend this more if you wanted to have a little bit more of a transition. And our shadow is the darkest part of the object. And we have our accent shadow down here, which is the highest contrasting area of the whole image and the darkest part. And then you have the accent shadow blending out to these different types of lights on this side. And there you have a cylinder and the types of light. Again, start memorizing the types of light, if you're in my class, that is. And we'll eventually be having a test on the types of light and being able to draw an object showing those types of light. Okay, you guys have fun doing the cylinder, and see you next time.